How many people are affected with major depressive disorder?
It's actually a lot. So, in terms of depression, about 8% or more of adults will have at least one depressive episode.
Oh, wow. And adolescents, kids?
Adolescence is actually higher,
Wow.
closer to 20%.
I know we don't know for sure,
Mhm.
but what are your feelings on why adolescents have twice the rate of
Yeah.
depression? What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that you can guess. You already talked about the trauma in, childhood, but also social media is a huge influence. It's one of the top reasons that we're seeing kids and adolescents experience depression and anxiety earlier on.
And is that because of the constant comparisons with people who are
Mhm.
looking perfect on social media, or is it the likes? I mean, is it all the above?
I think it's all the above. I think it's the comparing yourself, maybe even being bullied somehow on social media, just influenced in ways that aren't really true to maybe the circumstances that they're living in, right?
Mhm.
And studies are just showing that it increases depression, anxiety, especially in girls.
Wow.
Suicide risk is up with social media use.
I mean, that scares me just because I'm
Yeah,
a father
I
of
know.
girls. You knowing this and you taking care of these people, you understanding that adolescents are at a significant risk, does it alter sort of your plan with how you raise your kids? Like, I gave my kids a phone, like,
Hmm.
early, like, I probably shouldn't have.
How old?
I think my oldest one got a phone at, like, 11, and then my youngest one got a phone at 9 just because, like, her
Mhm.
sister had a phone, so I gave her a phone, but they do not have social media.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. That's the key there is not giving them the social media. I think from what I've seen, 10 is kind of like this average age that kids are given phones, at least where we live.
Yeah,
But I think the real important part is the social media, whether or not they have access to that.
and I take that back. My kids don't have Instagram, Facebook,
Hmm.
Twitter, any of that stuff, but they YouTube. Is YouTube is kinda social media, isn't it?
I consider it because it's not filtered, right?
Mhm.
And it's not curated in the sense that something like, Netflix or, Disney is. And unless you put really good parental controls on things, I'm not really sure it's a good influence.
I agree with that, but it's just one of these things where it's
Mhm.
like, "Man, I made the mistake already," and it's like, "Okay, now what do I do? How do I backtrack? Do I take it away? Do I take YouTube off of their phone?" Like, what do I do now
It's
as a parent?
hard. I mean, I think having the discussion with your kids, like, what effect it may actually have on them and maybe putting them in the driver's seat. Sometimes when, our kids are a lot smarter than we realize, right? And they want to be healthy, they want to take care of themselves. So sometimes just giving them the knowledge and letting them know the reason you might wanna start getting them off of YouTube.
Yeah. The depression thing scares me because literally just the other day, as I'm reading about depression, my daughter's going to this soccer practice and, she's a avid soccer player and she doesn't perform at the level where she wants to perform. And the coach notices it, tells me, whatever. And she has this episode where she is just so like distraught. And when you read about it and you understand that depression could be diagnosed even with 2 weeks of symptoms, I just get terrified. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't know if she'll be over this in 2 weeks. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's like, what, when you think about, I guess, therapy or support, do we support adolescents differently than we support adults? Or is it the same in terms of therapy and for depression, major depressive disorder?
I mean, I think in terms of therapy, it can be similar, but adolescents are in the home, with their parents, so I think that they should have that added support, whereas adults can be isolated, they might be living alone and not have that same social support. So I think just the fact that you're, even thinking about it for her means that you're supportive and that you're aware of it and that you're probably gonna have those conversations with her.